Hi guys, I'm back and I've been asked by quite a few people to do a video on the coronavirus. I'm going to give you my opinion on it. They really don't know a tremendous amount about this virus yet, but what you need to know is that coronaviruses in general are very common. So there's many different types of coronavirus. This specific one is a mutated virus, and a mutation is something that gets altered this life, not passed on through generations and generations. The common thread with all these coronaviruses is that they attack the lung, okay? And I'm going to cover several aspects of this virus. First thing you need to know is a virus is not necessarily a living thing. It cannot reproduce without hijacking your own cells. So it leaches or hijacks your DNA machinery from your cell, and then it turns on a little copy machine and it starts reproducing like crazy. So that's what it does. So a virus is like a parasite. And what I mean by a parasite is it takes something from you, but it doesn't give anything back. So it's kind of like a criminal. Now with the good bacteria that lives in your digestive system, you give them a home, you give them food, but they give you vitamins, they give you certain compounds that are beneficial for your immune system. So they're exchanging good things with you, but these viruses just don't do that. Now the other point I want to bring up is the topic on glucose, sugar. The flu virus infection depends on cellular glucose. There's a really interesting research study, I'm going to put it down below. They found that when you increase glucose, you increase the flu infection rate. Now, I'm not saying that the coronavirus lives on glucose, but it might. There's just a lot of unknowns, but there's quite a few viruses that thrive in a glucose-filled environment. So what would be the opposite fuel of glucose? Fat fuel or ketones, right? So ketones are really beneficial to support a healthy immune system. Now, when you combine fasting, you can actually put your body in autophagy. And one of the purposes of autophagy, which goes beyond just recycling damaged protein, is cleaning up microbes, bacteria, viruses, parasites from your body. So fasting is very, very beneficial. Also, when you do prolonged fasting, you can increase stem cells for the immune system and basically grow a new immune system, as well as strengthen your immune system too. Unfortunately, right now, the news is blowing this up all over the place. Okay, it's not just on TV, it's on the internet, it's all over the place. So they're putting out this serious epidemic threat to society, or it might even turn into a pandemic event. An example of an epidemic would be some sudden spike in a virus throughout the country. Pandemic is more a worldwide spread event. Now, I did two different videos, okay, that I'm going to put a link down below. One on the bubonic plague, which is in 1840, if I'm not mistaken. And the other one is the Spanish flu, which was also a pandemic event in 1918. And I want to summarize those two events and tell you what really happened. Because the way that they're projecting this thing is that this virus just floats around and infects everyone and kills everyone. But that's not the whole story. Let's first talk about the bubonic plague, or the Black Plague. What occurred just before that event, and by the way, this is based on some autopsies, which they found this grave site and they dug up these bodies. They found a higher incidence of rickets, injuries to these bodies, and other types of things that show nutritional deficiencies, okay? So there was a war involved, which I'll come back to in a second. But there was also, right before that, a massive volcano, which covered the sky with this cloud of smoke that obstructed the sun. So you had a change in vitamin D levels, number one. Number two, there was a huge problem in growing plant food. So right there, you can create two things. One is nutritional deficiencies from the food that you eat. And number two, just not enough sun. And that can actually really affect your immune system. Vitamin D has a major influence over your